It was once again a case of so near but yet so far for Nottingham Forest in the 2010-11 season in the Championship. For the second successive year, the Reds blazed a trail to the playoffs, only to ultimately experience disappointment at the hands of Swansea. But not before they'd rewritten the club's record books, ended a 2-decade wait for a double-over derby, and claimed a host of important scalps. Here we chart the campaign. Radi Majewski was the only player to arrive at the City Ground in a permanent deal during the summer after his successful loan spell. But the Reds did start the season with Chelsea's Ryan Bertrand on loan until January and were hopeful that that would resolve the problematic left-back position. A trip to Burnley, fresh from their Premier League adventure, was Forest's task on the opening day of the season.
Paul McKenna leads out Forest for the first game of 2010-11. Here's Earnshaw winning the ball well and getting it back from Blackstock. Shoots from the edge of the box. He's hit the post, Rob Earnshaw. Two strikers linking up beautifully and smashed it against Brian Jensen's left-hand post. Here's Wade Elliott. Found a bit of space on halfway. Forward towards Patterson. Gives it back to Wade Elliott. Neat link-up play towards the edge of the box. Crosses. Hualumo's header. And Burnley are 1-0 ahead. Bang on 45 minutes.
No doubt about it, we bossed the match, no doubt, with a number of very, very good opportunities. We've hit the post with Ernie, and I've been here before many times with different teams, and I've got to say I've played much, much poorer and picked up 3 points, and you know, it's a disappointment, but at the same time too, very, very positive performance.
3 days later, they faced another away trip to Bradford for a Carling Cup tie.
Forest playing the ball about nicely again inside Bradford's half. This is Anderson left-hand side, forward towards Cohen, who got forward well. Good turn and cross, and it might come back post for Thornhill, who volleys it across the face of goal and inside the far post. And the longer it goes, where it's only one, the more confident Bradford will be that they can get something to maybe force extra time. Extra time and penalties necessary here, as a mistake here from Chambers sends the ball back towards goal. Spate scrambling for it, and eventually David Sayers has turned it in. And it's Malt who moves first and drives it. Camp makes the save, and the rebound is it's snuffled in the end. And it's the big man. It's James Hansen at the third time of asking.
After 3 years in League One, a trip to the City Ground was one to relish for Leeds United. Forest got off to the best possible start, but the Reds' first home game of the season was to end in a draw.
First time cross, Blackstock's header! Forest in front! 9 minutes! Near post header from Blackstock, which ended up inside the far post. Right across the face of Kasper Schmeichel. Lovely ball in again from Chris Gunter. 2 or 3 times he's done that already. It's taken Forest 9 City Ground minutes to get their first City Ground goal of the season, and it's a deft header from Dexter Blackstock which gives them the lead. And Wes Morgan now finding Gunter as they come back to the right-hand side. Tucks it infield, lovely layoff by Earnshaw to Blackstock, gets it back, gets it under control, tight angle, he hits the far post. Terrific play by Forest. And Forest being forced back, but Bertrand's got some space down the left-hand side. Morgan tries to find him, but clips the heels of Becchio, and now Leeds can spring on. Lloyd Sam has it, held up temporarily by Majewski, but still finds Howson, and now left-hand side for Johnson. Good curling cross, good header, 1-1. Similar sort of goal to that which Forest scored, and it's come from Lloyd Sam, and Leeds are level.
A trip to Reading next for Forest, and a freak goal earned them a point.
And it's whipped in by Brian Howard, comes back post for Kebe's got a bit of space, turns it back across the face of goal. Forest not got it clear yet, Morgan challenging for it, and it breaks in the penalty area and is stabbed home from close range by Alex Pearce. Here's Shane Long, who has been causing Forest problems when Reading do come forward, and he shrugged Wilson off here and finds Sigurdsson, who loses his balance under a challenge from Cohen and wanted a free kick. And nothing doing, and Forest just get on with it and stride forward with Cohen crossing halfway. Here's Majewski, he tugs it wide to the right hand side, but it's not a good ball. It's forced Anderson very wide, and Anderson's cross is very, very ordinary indeed. Tame, straight into the arms of Adam Federici, who bowls it out straight at Earnshaw, and Earnshaw sidesteps him and scores. And Adam Federici, who has been magnificent in this game so far, makes an absolute howler by throwing it straight to Earnshaw, who turns on it, reacts, rounds the goalkeeper and slots into an empty net in front of 2,000 travelling Forest supporters. Federici can't believe it, holds his hand up in apology. The man who's kept his side in front now gives away their lead, and Rob Earnshaw has finally, having deserved it in every game he's played, got his first goal of the season.
It was bizarre, bizarre. You know, I didn't know. I just went like that to the fans because I didn't know what was going on. But no, I'll take it. To be fair, if anyone the last couple of games, first three games of the season, did deserve a little bit of luck, it was me.
Newly promoted Norwich were next up at the City Ground, which ended a largely disappointing month.
Under hit pass here from McKenna, and Chris Martin has skipped past Kelvin Wilson and hits the top of the post. Comes out for Corey Smith, edge of the penalty area, to try and work his way through, and McKenna intercepts the cross and manages to get it clear. It is Chris Martin who moves first and curls well. He's hit the post again. He's hit the base of the same post. Forest trying to respond to Norwich's latest surge. Good ball down the inside left channel from Wilson to Bertrand. Bertrand's first attempt at crossing is blocked. He's back on the ball again. He nutmegs Leon Barnett into the penalty area. Then his next touch is too heavy and shows too much of it to the Norwich defenders. Then Blackstock goes in, wins the ball, and he goes down under a challenge from Leon Barnett. Nothing given. Consternation around the City Ground. He was convinced he was fouled, Dexter Blackstock. So are the fans. So is Billy Davis. And here's Bertrand at the other end into the penalty area again. Just got the ball held up under his foot, but it's come back to him. Now Anderson bundled over. That is a penalty. This time Scott Matheson gives the penalty kick against Russell Martin. Can he put Forest in front? 34 minutes. Blackstock left-footed. Yes! Low into the corner. Ruddy guessed the right way, but Ruddy couldn't reach it. Wide left, 30 yards out. Sermon sends it in with pace. It's headed up in the air. Then there's another flick on, and Crofts sends it towards goal. It's deflected, looped up and in. 1-1. Andrew Crofts will claim it.
Forest, without a win in their opening 4 games, sat 19th in the table. QPR and Cardiff were already finding their feet at the right end of the table. The trend of facing newly promoted or relegated teams continued. Millwall were next up at the City Ground, and it was a mixed day for Dexter Blackstock.
Throw in now at the other end to Millwall. Long one into the Forest penalty area, headed away by Chambers, and then further volleyed clear by Nathan Tyson. Here come Millwall again with a cross into the penalty area, and a header into the back of the net from Steve Morrison. And Millwall have the lead after just 4 minutes. Now Majewski turning well away from Carter, and Abdu brings him down. Well, that's 2 or 3 times Majewski's had the ball, and a couple of times they've committed fouls. Free kicks taken quickly by McKenna to Tyson. Penalty, got to be. Alan Dunn, suicidal lunge inside the penalty area. Front of the Trent end, bright sunshine. Blackstock ready to step up now, left-footed, and blazes it over the crossbar. Forest have missed a penalty, and already you start to think, is it going to be one of those days? Clock beating Forest, it seems. Millwall beating Forest. Here is Cohen down the left-hand side, hitting over a cross, and Blackstock heads in! Blackstock scores! Forest have got an equaliser, seemingly out of nothing!
A trip to Deepdale, a ground Forest traditionally don't do well at, followed, but Lewis McGugan stole the show on his first league start of the season.
Forward towards Blackstock, controls, gives it away, trying to lay it off for Cohen, but too much on it. Now Parry breaks forward, and to his right he's got Russell, and to his left Parkin, and Parkin's through, and John Parkin scores. Little stumble at the back, and Forest are cut apart, and once again, having dominated a game and having failed to take their chances, Forest are made to pay. And now McGugan strides forward towards the penalty area and hits a shot. Oh, what a strike from Lewis McGugan! Goalkeeper got a hand to it but couldn't keep it out. 20-odd yards out from McGugan, running at pace and hits a thunderbolt. 30 yards out, and Bertrand comes further left-hand side for Anderson. Anderson down the line for Cohen. Cohen with Anderson still in support down this near side, but Cohen turns away from Barton, gets his low cross in. Blackstock controls it. McGugan smashes it into the top corner. How is Lewis McGugan enjoying this night in Preston?
A televised game at Hull was one to forget.
Hull have it now inside Forest half. Bullard's a long way out, but shooting, and a good save from Lee Camp. That must have been 35 yards. And Lucy controls it neatly under pressure and then plays a lovely ball out to the left-hand side for Bertrand. Bertrand striding forward and hitting a shot low through the penalty area, which goes wide.
Here's McGugan with the corner.
McGugan to take the corner, right-footed, in swinging and headed wide by Chambers. Free header, 4 or 5 yards out, headed it downwards and headed it just off target.
But then 2 games in the space of 3 days. First up Swansea, and again it was Lewis McGugan at the heart of the display, earning Forest their first home win of the campaign.
Now sent forward with Blackstock lurking. There's a touch back to the goalkeeper, who comes out and brings Blackstock down. Blackstock goes down. Forest have a penalty. Gary Monk is furious. Lewis McGugan at the Bridgeford end with the opportunity to score a 3rd goal of the season. And up he comes and hits it right-footed, sends the keeper the wrong way, low into the bottom corner. Good penalty from Lewis McGugan. Here's Gunter, wide right, halfway inside the Swansea half. Little ball into McGugan, McGugan twisting, turning, shooting, goal! Top corner! Oh, superb! Absolutely superb! And Swansea are on their knees. So Forest leading here by 2-0. Sheffield United will be here on Tuesday night as McGoldrick heads forward to Majewski, edge of the box, Majewski rolls it in! Radi Majewski has all 3 substitutes combine. Here is Joe Allen towards the edge of the D and shooting, good save, but the rebound is going to be tucked in.
Last couple of games it's gone my way, and no, I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling confident about it, but just take each game as it comes and hopefully keep on adding to these performances.
Struggling Sheffield United were next up, and Forest were strongly tipped to take all 3 points. The Reds, though, were quickly becoming the draw specialists of the league.
Stephen Jordan it is to take the left full-back, come across to the right-hand side to take it so he can curl it in left-footed. Good pace on it, header, good goal. Sheffield United in front. It's Richard Cresswell with a diving header, having got in front of his man. And Bertrand cutting inside from that far touchline, rolls it square now to McKenna, bit of space, shoots, goalkeeper gets a hand to it, it's gone in! Paul McKenna has only his 2nd goal for Forest, and out of nothing, the Reds get an equaliser.
Unbeaten in the month with 2 wins, propelled Forest into the top half of the table. QPR, though, were already pulling away at the top. Leicester sat rock bottom, and after just 9 games they parted company with their manager, Paulo Sousa. October started with a trip to one of Forest's bogey grounds, Doncaster's Keepmoat Stadium. In 3 previous visits, the Reds had failed to score, let alone win.
It's a right-footed corner for Paul McKenna. Back post, Anderson heads it back across the face. Moussi heads towards goal, comes down for Blackstock, who must score! And he has, he was left all on his own, a yard out, Dexter Blackstock. At the 4th time of asking at this stadium, Forest finally score a goal against Doncaster Rovers. As Oster floats in the free kick, and the header at the back post from Adam Lockwood sees Doncaster level. Well, that was all very, very straightforward.
Very disappointing first 45 minutes. I thought we came out and we looked as if we had no energy. But then the whole week we talked about their free kicks in wide areas, we talked about the defending, and then we lose a goal from lack of concentration. For a split second or 2 has cost us probably the points.
A 2-week international break was followed by a trip to Barnsley, another ground that the Reds have failed to do well at in recent years.
Trippier down that right flank, he's got lots and lots of space and time to look up, and here's the cross and it's over everybody. It bounces kindly though for Hamill at the back post, and then it's stuck in by, I think it's Nathan Doyle diving in, got the final touch in the middle of the park. As Barnsley come forward with Jim O'Brien Now putting over a cross towards the back post. Man goes down inside the penalty area under Blackstock's challenge. Referee says that Blackstock was pushing the Serb, Goran Lov. He's down, penalty given. It is Andy Gray, the former Forest man, who is going to step up to take the penalty, which would put Barnsley in a very, very strong position here. 11th minute of the second half. Referee is just telling Nathan Doyle to get back out of the penalty area. Gray comes up, hesitates in the middle of his run, and then fires in past Lee Camp. Early on from Nathan Doyle, and then a penalty from Andy Gray. And here they come again with McGoldrick edge of the penalty area. He's hit a shot which has smacked against the base of the post. Goalkeeper beaten, Luke Steele. Shot from absolutely nothing from McGoldrick, who now lays it off for McGugan, who scampers through towards the D and hits the shot. What a finish that is from Lewis McGugan. That's a great goal, and Forest are back in it at Oakwell. It's headed away. Majewski brings it down. Then Cohen tries to get away from Kolase. Can't do so. Good touch from him to Butterfield. Butterfield gets Barnsley moving again. This is Adam Hamill having a run. Gives it back to Butterfield inside the penalty area. Tight angle. Low shot underneath Lee Camp. Game over. Barnsley 3, Forest 1.
Then there were 2 games back at the City Ground against Middlesbrough and Ipswich, and up stepped Lewis McGugan.
And Forest with this free kick wide left. It is Lewis McGugan to take it. Right footed, smashes it straight in! Right through the penalty area and inside the far post, and Lewis McGugan scored again for Forest. McGugan gets a 6th of the season, and it's another special one. And here is Majewski finding Cohen, who's bursting forward. And he stops about 25 yards out, has to go backwards. I think he was looking for Gunter, but in the end found McKenna. Now it's played forward left-hand side by Majewski to Cohen. Low ball in, McGoldrick side foot. Oh, that is a fantastic goal. So simple. And when football is played like the beautiful game, it is a simple game. Free kick's a long way out. Lewis McGugan's going to hit it anyway. Oh, my word! What a strike from Lewis McGugan! 35 yards, top corner. It went like a missile. Magic in his boots, said Ned Kelly the other night about Lewis McGugan, and that was magic in every sense of the word. Absolutely magnificent. Forest 2, Ipswich Town 0. Unbelievable strike from Lewis McGugan, who cannot stop scoring.
Well, I was just going to say he's not going to shoot from there, is he? Didn't just shoot. It was he kept it down, top corner, unstoppable. The goalkeeper's very tall, Martin Fuller, but I think he's about 6'3", 6'4". Full dive, never got anywhere near it. Absolutely magical strike by Lewis McGugan.
It was a magnificent strike, wasn't it? And I've just told him in there that get his feet back on the ground again and just keep working away. He's got a long way to go, and quite interesting. In the last couple of days, somebody showed me the photograph of McGugan 1 year ago and McGugan now, and the difference with regards to body shape and condition is night and day, and he now knows what's going on, and he's now reaping the rewards for that.
I was confident when he was stepping up, but I didn't know he was going to hit it that clean. But obviously Lewis has got that, and it's gone right into the top corner, you know, and it's a classic. It's got a goal this season already, you know. It's a great goal. It's a great and a good player.
The month ended with a trip to the south coast to face Portsmouth on the day they announced new ownership and finally came out of administration.
Corner. Here's another one from Lawrence. This is longer, and that's a powerful header, a towering header, and it's into the Forest net. Portsmouth are in front, but Forest seem to have recovered well from the setback of the goal, and here's Chambers getting well forward again down the right. Good ball to him from McKenna, level with the edge of the box. He goes backwards now for McGugan. McGugan's cross. Oh, and a great diving header from Paul Anderson, and we've seen a bullet header now at both ends. Halford in a left wing position at the moment, the right back. Gives it to Dickinson. His ball forward is flicked on. It falls for Utaka. Now it falls for Lawrence. The drive through a crowd of bodies and in. It simply had to come.
Forest were in mid-table, albeit still only 3 points off the playoffs. Leicester had appointed Sven-Göran Eriksson as manager and had started their climb up the table, while Cardiff and QPR still occupied the top 2. November started with an away day, a trip to Watford.
Here's Danny Graham for Watford down the right, crossing, look at the space here, and a comfortable header into the net for Jordan Much, who was totally unmarked inside the Forest penalty area. You will not see a simpler goal anywhere in the Championship or anywhere in the country this weekend. Here's McGugan off on a mazy run, shooting, oh, he's done it again! Lewis McGugan has done it again, from 25 yards this time, in a wideish left position. He's run forward 10 yards or so, and then he's unleashed it.
Next up at the City Ground was Coventry City, who'd started the season well under new boss, Adi Boothroyd.
Get about 25 yards out, maybe a bit closer, whipped in dangerously and headed in. And Coventry are in front. Forest 0, Coventry 1 through Aaron Gunnarsson. Long clearance here from Lee Camp. Tyson chasing after it towards the corner flag and gets there. Holds it up, lays it back along the line for Cohen, who turns away from Gunnarsson's challenge and now finds Majewski. And Majewski's curling one! Great hit from Rami Majewski, 1-1! Majewski takes a leaf out of the McGugan handbook and smashes one from 25 yards. Now what can Cohen do here? 17 minutes into the second, 1-1 at the wet City Ground. Cohen drills it in, it's gone all the way in! There may have been a touch from Earnshaw at the near post, but he's whipped it in as Chris Cohen, and I think it's he who will claim the goal.
Unbeaten league leaders QPR were the next visitors for Forest, as the Reds look to preserve their long unbeaten home league run.
This is Gunter, short, not a good ball to Chris Cohen, and taken away from him by Kyle Walker, who now steams down the pitch and is already into the Forest half and finding Tarab, who tricks his way away from McKenna, and Tarab shooting, and it deflects kindly for Queen's Park Rangers, and the challenge comes in from McGugan inside the penalty area, and that looked like Queen's Park Rangers had a very, very good shout for a penalty kick. Forest getting on with it. It was Tommy Smith who the ball deflected kindly to, right into his path. McGugan dived in and made the challenge. Smith went down. And the referee, Andy Durso, to be fair to him, was right on the spot. Wave play on. I think Forest might have got away with one. Now Queen's Park Rangers come forward. Forest not really looking after the ball well enough. Here's Tarab, running short. Good save this time by Lee Camp. Tarab with a touch of the McGugans about it, having a run at Forest and then chipping one from 25 yards towards the top corner. And Lee Camp rose magnificently and tipped it round the post. Ball into the Forest box here is going to go loose to Tarab, who blazes over the crossbar. It hit Luke Chambers, and Tarab running onto the loose ball was only about, 16 yards out? And he holds his face up to the sky, as if to say, how on earth did I not hit the target with that one? Kenny clears long. Chambers heads away. McKenna battling in midfield, but the ball is on the far side now for Derry. McKenna wins it again though. And now here's Blackstock across halfway and beating two, and still going on Blackstock and shooting a long way out. And Paddy Kenny fumbles it slightly, but he fumbled it in the right direction. Blackstock never looked like he was quite fully in balance, and it was only because of the challenges. I think each one got a little piece more of Dexter Blackstock as he went past them. Stayed on his feet, shot from outside the penalty area, and Kenny made the save.
Earnshaw and Adibolo up front, now two out-and-out strikers. Still looking to force Paddy Kenny into his first real save of the game.
Well, McGugan's gone left-hand side. Here's Adebola sending Earnshaw through, and he's offside. He's only just offside. He's a fraction offside, but he was offside. The official got it right. But Forest getting a little bit of success, because certainly QPR weren't playing the offside trap. It was just that the ball didn't quite come through quickly enough. Here is a good layoff by Adebola to McGugan. McGugan right side for Anderson, up into the penalty area, pulls it back for McGugan to shoot. Oh, what a save from Kenny! Saw it late. That's got to be a penalty for a foul on Earnshaw. Earnshaw's bundled over by Fallin, and if Forest should have got away with one in the first half, Rangers have certainly got away with one in the second.
Yeah, I thought first half we probably got what we deserved, which was nothing. Second half was much improved. Made some changes. I thought the changes and the impact that we got from the subs was excellent. And there's no doubt both goalkeepers had some great saves. Both teams had definite penalty claims. And I felt that second half there was only one team looking like they were going to win the match.
The long away trips continued as the Reds headed to Cardiff on a day that signalled a premature end to the season for Dexter Blackstock.
Here's Adebola with some good work. Now McGugan, right foot! Oh, Lewis McGugan with a special again! Adebola won it in the air and then gave it to Lewis McGugan, and from 22 yards, Lewis McGugan on his right foot curled one into the top corner. Now Bertrand, 10 yards inside the Cardiff half wide left, lays it short for Cohen, forward down the left hand side. Cohen plays it to McGugan, who twists away from Matthews, the substitute, lays it back for Blackstock. Blackstock rolls it into the corner. Forest 2-0 ahead. Lovely play by the Reds again, and McGugan now turns provider, and Dexter Blackstock has a 5th goal of the season, rolling it low into the corner. As we keep saying, they're 2-0 up despite having everything go against them this afternoon. Nothing has gone their way. Here's Adebola, wide right, laying it forward towards Moussi, who's made a good run forward. Now Blackstock has it. He's turning and twisting away from 4 blue shirts. And then he hurt himself as he went down. Did Blackstock. I'm not sure if anybody got a challenge or if he just slipped, but he's in trouble. He's in trouble when he puts his arm up, and straight away he is kind of waving his arm as if to say, I need some help here quickly.
Forest swooped for Sheffield Wednesday striker Marcus Tudgay and also landed Arsenal star Aaron Ramsey before the loan window closed. Both were on the bench for the trip to the Walker Stadium to face an ever-improving Leicester City.
Well, Forest need a bit of quality in midfield. Need a bit of quality anywhere on the pitch at the moment. As McCleary is bundled off the ball easily by Hobbs, sent forward towards Bednar here. Bednar nutmegs Chambers to go wide towards the corner of the penalty area. Chambers then holds him up. It's fed infield to Vassell, top of the D. Vassell gets away from Bertrand into the penalty area, and it's gone in. It was mishit by Vassell. It went right across the face of the goal, and it's turned in at the far post. I think it's Andy King sliding in.
After the win at Cardiff, the Reds had moved to 6th, but slipped back down to 9th after the defeat by Leicester. Derby and Coventry were the surprise inclusions in the top 6, and at the bottom, last year's Premier League teams Hull and Middlesbrough found themselves in early relegation battles. December proved to be a frustrating month for Forest. Games against Bristol City at home and Scunthorpe away fell victim to the weather, but on a freezing day at the City Ground, Forest hosted Crystal Palace.
Driven in again, and it is headed in by Luke Chambers. It ricocheted off 2 or 3 players, and it came to Chambers, and Chambers heads it into the roof of the net. It was like a pinball inside the Crystal Palace penalty area. As Morgan here sends this ball back to his goalkeeper, Lee Camp. And a ball forward early here towards Tudgay. The goalkeeper's come halfway out, and Tudgay lofts it over him and scores! 35 seconds of the second half, and Marcus Tudgay has a goal on his Forest debut. Stabbed forward here by Moussi towards Earnshaw. Davis slips, Earnshaw takes possession, wide left position, rolls it back to the edge of the box now. This is Nathan Tyson. Tyson cuts it back, McCleary shoots, McCleary scores from 12 yards out. And now the scoreline has a more reflective look to show how this game has gone and the difference between the sides. Forest 3, Palace 0.
Another postponement for the Boxing Day trip to Middlesbrough meant Forest had played 1 game in a month before rivals Derby County visited the City Ground. Any worries about rustiness were dispelled though after just 2 minutes on a truly memorable night.
It is Majewski to take from the right hand side, right footed, out swinging, back post, header comes in! Luke Chambers has scored for Forest in the 2nd minute against Derby County! Rising at the back post, he's headed it high into the net! Majewski's corner, and for the 2nd year in a row here at the City Ground, it's the perfect start for Forest! Everyone in the City Ground on their feet, everybody acclaiming the centre half. Luke Chambers is the man who celebrates in front of Leacock takes it clear of the box. Shifka, though, tries to clear and is charged down by Bertrand. Now the cross from Majewski is headed away bravely. Comes out for Musi, but can't volley it because Commons just touches it away as he was waiting for the ball to come down. This is Bueno running forward. Early ball for Moore, who's got there ahead of Morgan and hits the crossbar. No, it's gone in. I think Camp may have got something on it. And then it seemed to hit the crossbar and bounce down, and somehow the spin on the ball took it into the net. As it bounced down, it looked as if it had bounced down out of Forest goal, and then on the bounce it seemed to curl back into the net, and Derby are level after 14 minutes. 1-1, 23 minutes played, and if the other three quarters are anything like the first quarter, this is going to be some night. Down the right hand side, Moxie jumps and can't get the ball away from Ramsey. Ramsey backwards for Gunter. Gunter chips it forward into the penalty area. Earnshaw takes it in his stride, turns, he's near the byline. Still looking to get the crossover, Earnshaw does so now. Header, Tudgay, off the underside of the bar, it came out. Has it gone in? Yes, the assistant referee gives the goal. We now have a goal at either end, which has hit the underside of the bar and gone in. But it's Marcus Tudgay. Tudgay scores. It's 2-1 against his old club. He marks his second Forest start with a second Forest goal. Earnshaw's cross, Tudgay's header from very close range, hit the underside of the bar, crossed the line. Derby aren't arguing, it must have gone in. The assistant referee said it went in, and Forest are back in front. 24 minutes, it is 2-1 to the Reds. Now, here's Tyson down the left-hand side. He's running at them again, and he's beaten Sifka for pace, and he crosses, and it's headed in by Tudgay again! Tudgay's got a second, Forest have got a third, great cross, Tudgay again for Forest. The former Derby man's on a hat-trick against his old club. Brave header getting in between two defenders, but what a great piece of work again down the left-hand side from Tyson. He's terrorised them down that left, and his cross is perfect for Tudgay to run onto and bury the header, and it's Forest 3, Derby 1 before half-time at the City Ground. Here's Cohen finding Tyson again, who turns away from Leacock and keeps it in play, and he's got three ahead of him again to his right, and he crosses, and Earnshaw pokes it in from 6 yards out. It's 4 for Forest. Derby looking a mess. Tyson crosses, Earnshaw sends his boot towards the ball and pokes it in from the edge of the 6-yard box in front of the Trent end. And on a misty night on Trent side, it gets better and better and better. Tudgay's got 2, Chambers has 1, and now Earnshaw gets in on it as well. Only his second goal of the season, and boy can he pick his times. 8 minutes into the second half. Listen to this. Forest 4, Derby 1. Well, that's the one, John, that we said was important. Commons goes down here under a challenge from Chambers and wins a free kick. Chambers says that Commons dived. It is going to be a Derby free kick, 25 yards out and just to the right of centre. The wall is standing right on the edge of the Forest penalty area, so 28 yards out. The boos ringing all around the City Ground for Chris Commons as he hits it left foot, low in. Derby have a goal back. It may have deflected off the wall, and Lee Camp was certainly wrong-footed by it and was nowhere near it. And Chris Commons incites the fans a little bit by pointing to his Derby badge and pointing to his name on the back of his shirt. That's all a little bit unnecessary, especially when all it's done is reduce the arrears to 4-2. The Forest fans begin to tune up. They're getting on their feet to wave goodbye to Derby fans who are already leaving the ground. 4-2 Forest lead, forward by Tudgay, looking for Earnshaw, mistake, Earnshaw in, Earnshaw buries it! Forest have hit 5 against Derby! Forest 5, Derby 2, and just as they did to Leicester here last season, so Forest have gone nap against their biggest rivals this time. Earnshaw with a brace, Tudgay with a brace. The former Derby strikers have done the business, and Forest hit a 5th County go home with tails well and truly between legs.
Great credit to the players, great credit to the way they worked and the way they battled away, and it is a very, very good 3 points, and I'm delighted for the fans. They've been fantastic. Their support tonight was magnificent again, and on behalf of the players and the staff and everybody here, thanks very much. You were excellent for us.
Yeah, I think everything to do with Forest tonight. I think the fans will be going home very, very happy. 5 goals against Derby, it's a fantastic result.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Obviously, people know my association with Derby and the amount of stick I get from the fans. It's nice to get a win, but the bigger picture is it's 3 points. Last couple of weeks have been stop-start because of the weather and the postponed game, so it's nice to have a game and win, and win in style.
With that victory, Forest had gone the whole of 2010 and 30 league games unbeaten at home, and they moved into the new year in 8th position, 1 point outside the playoffs, but with 3 games in hand. At the bottom, Preston were managerless after sacking Darren Ferguson after a little under a year in charge, and were slowly being cast adrift, 5 points from safety. After the win over Derby, Barnsley were the New Year's Day visitors to the City Ground, and it proved to be a case of after the Lord Mayor's show.
Forest have begun well in recent years. I think they've won their last 3 New Year's Day fixtures, but here's Tudgay dwelling on the ball, and Matt Hill, the fullback, has run right through into the penalty area and has drilled it into the net.
Billy Davies there waving his arms frantically, I think trying to get his players to keep up this initial onslaught against Barnsley. They don't need 1 goal, they need 2 goals to win this one, and the sooner they get the opener. But there's Trippier on the right hand side for Barnsley again.
Trippier is trying to get away from Cohen and has done well to cross back post, headed down goal. Andy Gray scores. Here's Tudgay, that's a great touch and a great ball to Gunter on the overlap. Gunter into the penalty area, penalty. Forest have a lifeline. Forest have a way back into the game. And Lewis McGugan ready to try and get Forest back in the match. McGugan low into the bottom corner. Goalkeeper dived the right way. Goalkeeper couldn't reach it. McGugan smacked it in. Cohen throws it in. Good touch by Musi. Here's Adebola. Stabs it through for Tudgay. Good challenge. Breaks loose. Shot in. Equaliser. Forest have levelled it. It's another goal. It's 2-2.
You're always concerned after such a high against your local rivals, and the energy that you use and the psychological effect it's going to have, and you try to freshen things up, you try to gear them up before the game, you try to warn them about complacency. We tell them about the need to go and raise our game against Barnsley at home and make sure we're doing the right things, and we've done the opposite in the first 45 minutes.
To be fair, we wasn't at the races today compared to the Derby game, so we grafted it out. Very, very lucky to come away with a point.
The new year also saw a change in Forest's away form, starting against Ipswich at Portman Road.
Sends it forward now for McGoldrick down the left-hand side. Can he keep this in play? Yes, he can. Crossing, and it's gone in off Delaney. Forest are in front. Stoppage time at the end of the first half. Own goal from Damien Delaney. David McGoldrick chased after it. It looked a lost cause, but McGoldrick made it and squared it back into the 6-yard box. There wasn't really a red shirt there. There might have been one, and that was, I think, Paul Anderson. But it didn't get to him because Damien Delaney, running back towards his goal, just couldn't get the ball out from under his feet. And a Delaney own goal has given Forest the lead just before half-time.
The FA Cup drew Forest against bottom club Preston, who had new manager Phil Brown in the Deepdale dugout for the first time.
So it's still 0-0 here. Here's Darren Carter with Forest standing off him, shooting into the corner. Curls one in from a couple of yards outside the penalty area as Forest stood and watched. 4 minutes gone, second half. The free kick into the Forest box doesn't quite make it because Cohen heads away. Anderson touches on, good ball, return ball from Earnshaw. Anderson clean through, got the pace on the defenders, into the penalty area, slides it under the goalkeeper. Anderson scores, lovely ball played through to him by Earnshaw, and from then on it was all about pace. And Forest have exactly what they wanted, an early equaliser in the second half. Here is the corner from McGugan. Back post comes down for Lynch, and he's bundled home by Luke Chambers. And Forest do have a winner. 2 minutes from time. Long corner back post from McGugan, knocked back across the face of goal by Lynch, and volleyed in by Luke Chambers.
An away tie against Premier League strugglers West Ham awaited Forest in the 4th round, but back in the league, Portsmouth were next up at the City Ground, and Forest left it oh so late.
Collected though by Lynch, plenty of time for him to cross behind Tudgay, cleared away again by McQuainer, not convincingly. Lynch wins it back, rolls it first time to Majewski, sweeps it wide right now for Gunter, he slips, and Nugent runs away from him and across halfway, and suddenly it's 3 against 2. Nugent still going and rolls it into the path of Kanu, and Kanu into the penalty area, mix it away from Camp and keeps his head and waits for the chance to knock it into the net, and Portsmouth are in front. McGugan finds Chambers back inside his own half. Long ball forward aimed at Adebola, headed away again by Sonko. Have either of them missed a single ball all day?
No, he's been brilliant, Sonko, brilliant.
Here is Musi finding Gunter, plays it to McGugan, first time cross back post and an own goal! And wouldn't you just know it, it's Ibrahima Sonko! Lewis McGugan's going to take the free kick from inside the centre circle. No, surely not.
No, I don't
Shatner all telling him to shoot. He's going to dink it into the box from that far out. In it goes, and it's headed away well by McQuainer. Comes out for Gunter to control, not very well. Goes back to halfway. Here's McGugan again. Dinks it in once more. They're onside. In! Tudgay scores! 4th minute of stoppage time! Tudgay with a header from McGugan's dink into the penalty area. And Forest, having not played well, have rescued not only a point but a win.
Less than a month since the 5-2 demolition of Derby at the City Ground, Forest headed down the A52 looking for their first ever win at Pride Park and a first double over their arch rivals in more than 2 decades.
Tyson nicks away from Brayford. He's going away down the left now and crossing deep across the edge of the penalty area. Nodded down towards Earnshaw, who scores! Earnshaw from the top of the knee, off the bench only a matter of 8 minutes ago. He crashes the ball right-footed, low into the corner, and have Forest done enough to get a first Derby double for 21 years. Earnshaw smashes it home right-footed from the edge of the D, low into the corner. He couldn't have picked it up and placed it better. It's the former Derby man who returns to Pride Park to haunt his old club. It's Derby County 0, Forest 1. It's Rob Earnshaw, and Forest are 11 minutes away from a first ever win at Pride Park.
Yeah, that's a well-taken goal by Earnshaw. Brilliant strike with his right foot from the edge of the penalty area. But before then, the build-up is absolutely superb. Tyson on the left, beat a player, comes in field, crosses it right across the edge of the 18-yard line to the far post. Anderson heads the ball back towards Earnshaw. A first-time strike beats Bywater's dive to the right and smashes into the back of the net. So a really well-taken goal there by Earnshaw, but a good build-up, and arguably Forest's best attack in the second half.
This is Dean Moxey. Moxey infield, he plays it to Addison. Addison gives it to Davis, who can't control it, and it's going to run away for a throw, and Moxey has bundled into Earnshaw. That could be the end of Moxey. He's already been booked, and he was late on Earnshaw, and the ball was running away anyway. And Dean Moxey could well here see a second yellow card. If he doesn't, it's lenient defending. No, he's reaching into his notebook, and he only has himself to blame. The ball was running out. It's a red card for Dean Moxey, a second yellow, and 3 minutes into stoppage time, Dean Moxey goes, and he's got no excuse. The ball was out of play. Earnshaw wasn't even on the pitch when he made the foul.
No, Earnshaw's just going to shield the ball out of play, but Moxey's just dived in and literally clattered Earnshaw over the touchline, nowhere near the ball, and I'm afraid you can't give him any real sympathy for that. Little bit of frustration shown.
It's a fantastic double. After so many years, Robin, you know yourself that with the thought of the last game in their minds, the whole place had big energy, as you can imagine, and very much determined to try and turn that around. But great credit to the players, and also a huge thank you to the fans on behalf of everyone at this club for what was outstanding support today.
great day, great win, great performance as well. That's what I'm here to do, whether it's a first touch, third touch, whatever it is. You know, I would have liked a few more chances, and we almost did. But you know, at the end of the day, whether it's your first touch, second touch, third touch, or whatever, we'll take a goal against Derby.
Back at the City Ground again, and the first of the rearranged games against Bristol City.
And so Cohen left-footed, McGugan runs away from it. It is Cohen who sticks it into the penalty area. There is a touch, there is a goal! Forest score! It's Luke Chambers who gets a fourth goal of the season.
The final game of a busy January was the Cup game at Upton Park against Premier League strugglers West Ham.
Corner towards the edge of the penalty area for Noble to run onto and shoot. Deflected in, but surely offside! Surely offside! It's Obinna who scores, and that has to have been offside when it was driven in by Noble. 1-0 West Ham leading. Here's Majewski finding Adebola. No, it's left for McGoldrick, who tucks it in field to Adebola, who shoots in the corner. Forest on terms, and boy do they deserve to be. 17 minutes gone from a tight angle. Dele Adebola scores. It's Cohen who curls it in near post, and it's headed down by a defender and nodded in by David McGoldrick. The goalkeeper kept the first one out from his own defender, and McGoldrick followed up. The ball was only a yard off the line, and McGoldrick rose to head the ball into the net, and Forest take the lead at Premier League West Ham United. He's hoisted that up in the air. Kovac is underneath it, but gives it away to McGugan. Chests it down, lifts it away from Kovac again, trying to turn, goes down under the challenge of both Kovac and Noble. Noble sends it forward towards Obinna as nothing's given. Obinna showing some pace down the right hand side. Lynch gets back to him. Obinna scores! From wide on the right hand side. It's a cross-come shot. We'll never know which it was, but it beat Lee Camp and flew into the back of the net. And the West Ham fans starting to make some noise as Noble takes into the penalty area, headed away well by Wes Morgan. Forest with everybody back. Sears knocks it back over the top, and there's a penalty.
Well, that's silly.
It's a penalty as Reid went down, and I think it's Lynch. Joel Lynch.
Yeah, he's pulled him down.
He's pulled him back, and the referee's got a card out, and he's calling Joel Lynch to him, and Lynch is just walking away. You will not be surprised to hear that the man who's already scored two is looking for a hat-trick. It's Victor Obinna against Lee Camp. He sends it the wrong way and sends it low into the bottom corner. And it's the first goal of his three that he celebrated by 5-6 backflips. That is some celebration from Victor Obinna.
6 wins from 7 games moved Forest up to 5th, just a point behind second place Cardiff with a game in hand. Confidence was obviously high as the Reds headed into a busy February. Liverpool left-back Paul Konchesky joined Forest on deadline day on a 93-day emergency loan that took him to the penultimate game of the campaign. Another ground that the Reds had failed to record a win at was the destination for their next away trip, Coventry's Ricoh Arena.
Forest have rather got stuck in the middle of the Coventry half, but here's Gunter finding Anderson into a bit of space. Anderson 30 yards out, swaps passes with Tudgay, lovely ball back to him, then he lofts it over the top for McGugan, and too far in front of him with Westwood coming out to cover. Westwood gets the ball. Why didn't Paul Anderson shoot?
I don't know why he didn't shoot there. That's quite strange. The ball dropping nicely for him on his right foot, could have just volleyed it over Westwood. Decided to try a pass.
Here's McSheffrey, top edge of the penalty area, crosses for Eastwood, he gets a touch, Marlon King gets a touch, and the keeper gets a touch, but then it's stuffed across the line, and I think it's Marlon King who's got the final touch. Forest keep possession. Here's Gunter finding the feet of Tudgay this time, neat control from him to nick away from Gunnarsson, and now sent wide to the left hand side by Cohen, and it reaches McGugan. Despite the defender's efforts to... Oh, great effort by Lewis McGugan, which bounces in front of Kieran Westwood, and out of nothing Forest have equalised. That must have moved all over the place. Here is McSheffrey to smash it straight into that wall, and now Forest might look to break away from that wall with McGugan finding Gunter down the right-hand side. Anderson's making the run forward ahead of Gunter. Gunter plays it into Anderson, who's clean through here and send it towards goal and wide. As he saw Westwood coming out to him,
And Anderson then just placed the ball past him, but he couldn't find the target.
Forest come forward again with Tudgay down the right-hand side, trying to get away from Wood. Does nick the ball away from Wood. Coventry get men back goal side though. Wood now finds Moussi on the overlap, who's hurt himself, but the ball is put in by Rob Earnshaw. Coventry stopped, and Earnshaw scores, and Forest are in front. Guy Moussi's hurt himself. Guy Moussi's done a hamstring. He stopped running as he took the ball down the right-hand side, but he still managed to look up and cross when everybody else had stopped. He looked up and crossed it to Earnshaw, and Earnshaw swiveled and in one movement belted it into the roof of the net. Coventry had stopped because they saw Moussi stop. Earnshaw didn't. He smashed it in. Moussi's night looks as if it might be over, but he set up Earnshaw anyway, and Forest lead 2-1 at the Ricoh.
What a game, eh? What a game. They're big, they're strong. We knew before it that it was a real test, the way they threw balls forward. I said to you a few weeks ago that last season this side probably would not have won that game. We're maturing great, and there's no doubt it's a great 3 points.
Overachieving Watford were the next test at the City Ground as the Reds looked to extend their magnificent home run, and an early goal from Marcus Tudgay made it 34 unbeaten.
McKenna wins a decent challenge. Now Cohen down the left-hand side, working well, crossing, and it's touched on here towards Sunday, and Forest lead inside the first minute.
Forest were now up to second, 7 points behind their next opponents QPR, but with 2 games in hand. And despite going a goal down and a man down, Forest earned a respectable draw.
And Rangers throw it down the line and now build down the right-hand side. Smith, neat touch, inside, and going towards the edge of the box, and curling one, low into the corner. Great piece of work from Tommy Smith, and Queen's Park Rangers are in front after 16 minutes. Yep, just sense the whole place lifted. Here is Connolly clearing. Tarab brings it down in the centre circle, now gets it back from Derry, and again they've got plenty forward. Oh, that's a bad tackle from Radimaevski. He's dived in, red card. Yeah, I don't think, at first viewing, I don't think he can have any complaints. The Polish international is sent off for his first sending off of the season, and it comes halfway through the first half. Radimaevski dived in 2 feet, and Tarab goes down. Meantime, Forest have won a free kick miles out, but Lewis McGugan to drive it, deflects in the net off David McGoldrick. The free kick was nearer the centre circle than the penalty area, and it was dead straight, and it was driven low by McGugan. I'm not sure that's what he intended. I'm pretty sure it wasn't what David McGoldrick intended, as it hit him and bounced low into the corner of the net beyond Paddy Kenny. And Forest, 3 minutes after going down to 10 men, have got themselves an equaliser.
Yeah, great credit again to the current group that we've got. 70 minutes away from home against top of the league. There's no doubt that they deserve an enormous amount of credit. I went to the fans at the end of the game. I thank them very much for wonderful support, but I made it clear to them who should be given the credit, and that is the players.
The December postponements meant games were coming thick and fast, and a trip to Scunthorpe was far from a memorable experience.
Cohen takes it quickly left-footed into the near post. Brave goalkeeping, and then Tyson puts the rebound wide open goal. We've been playing for 18 minutes, it's goalless. Forest having by far and away the better of it until Gunter here is robbed by Dagnall down the left-hand side. Dagnall towards the edge of the box, and then he goes down under a challenge from Chris Cohen. Referee wants nothing to do with it. He says it was shoulder to shoulder. I think I agree with him. But Scunthorpe have it again with Duffy playing a ball down the inside right channel into the penalty area for Miller. Tight angle and bundled in. It's either Dagnall or it's an own goal from Chris Cohen. Dagnall takes all the celebrations, and Scunthorpe United are in front after 18 minutes.
The Reds needed to show their true character as Cardiff City, now in second, visited the City Ground.
Cohen, again McKenna, it's patient from Forest. Cohen again, rolling it up to McGugan, got a little flick on now. Here's Anderson trying to get Earnshaw in. The flag's up, he's offside, he scored. He's put it in the net. It was a beautiful little move, but Robert Earnshaw had just strayed onside as he snuck in behind the Cardiff defence. A beautiful finish over Tom Heaton, but the goal doesn't count after 5 minutes. Now tackled by McGugan in the centre circle. McNaughton's taken it off him though. He and Bellamy coming away with it. Here is McNaughton down the left, checking back for Bellamy just behind him. Bellamy 25 yards out, might shoot here, does, save by Camp, and parries it away to the far side. Jay Bothroyd will pick it up. Rolling a little pass back. Now Burke wants to get a cross into the area. There's the hanging one, and Gunter, calm as you like, edge of the 6-yard box, chests it back to his goalkeeper, Lee Camp. But danger on a couple of fronts there from Cardiff. Bothroyd almost in down the right, and then a shot from Bellamy that Lee Camp was equal to. Oh, here come Cardiff, fed through. Bothroyd's onside, and Camp has somehow saved it. Well, he was onside. He was played on by Gunter. Fed through the middle. He couldn't believe it. Turned and got the shot in. And Lee Camp was quickly off his line and made a fantastic stop from the England international forward. He should have scored, there's no question. But Forest should never have allowed him the opportunity. 14 gone. Cardiff do have a corner from that save from Cardiff. Hearts in mouths moment. Here comes the corner. Camp's off his line to get a punch away. Only as far as Bellamy to shoot. Cleared off the line this time by Konchesky. Right next to the post. Cardiff going close to opening the scoring here. Bellamy's effort from distance from the corner. Cleared off the line by Konchesky. An opportunity to get a ball in the box here for Lewis McGugan. In comes the corner towards Morgan. And Forest lead on 31 minutes. A beautifully flighted corner in, and there was Wes Morgan up from defence. Powerful header. The keeper could only help it into the roof of the net. Forest lead in the big game at the top end of the Championship. It's Wes Morgan with the goal.
Well, that was a real quality cross there from McGugan. His corner fizzed in this time. Lots of pace, bent with his instep to come in at the near post, and just coming in roundabout a few yards into the 6-yard box. Wes Morgan rose magnificently.
It's like a patient build-up that we saw in the early stages, this from Forest. Konchesky now on for Earnshaw, and Anderson on the overlap down the left-hand side. Tudgay waiting for it in the middle. It's back for McGugan. He's hit the bar with a left-foot shot from 12 yards out. Beautiful build-up play from Forest, and the pass back from Anderson picked out McGugan, who'd found the space, and on his left foot from 12 yards he smashed it goalwards. It hits the top of the bar.
Yeah, that was an absolute rocket by McGugan. They're not easy to hit, those ones that are running along the ground. They're going slightly behind you. It was on McGugan's left foot, but he struck it absolutely perfectly. And there's another run by Bothroyd, staying on side.
Down the right-hand side, he's cut in field of the defenders. Konchesky's across, gets a touch, but then it's smashed towards goal and tips over the crossbar. And it's Olifanjana with the effort from just inside the box. And it's just tipped over by Lee Camp. What a save from him again. Terrific stop from the Forest goalkeeper to prevent goal number 2, and he is actually applauded by Olifanjana. Well, that's 2 brilliant saves from Lee Camp in this game. He's been such an important figure for Forest all season in between the sticks. Here Cardiff have it on the left-hand side, still trying to carve open an equaliser. It's forward towards Emmanuel Thomas. And now up towards Bothroyd, back to goal, 30 yards out from goal, turning away, trying to get away from Chambers. He has got away from Chambers and then cuts it into the penalty area. Good tackle. Oh no, the referee's given a penalty. Well, Paul McKenna's been penalised here for a foul on Shea Olifanjana, and Forest can't believe it. He's given a penalty kick.
There's minimal contact, but for some strange reason the referee's given a penalty kick. I would think that is a very, very harsh decision against Forest.
Peter Whittingham has placed the ball at the Bridgeford end for Cardiff, with Forest leading by a goal to 0. The one-time Forest target. Whittingham steps up, left-footed, and Lee Camp goes the wrong way, and Peter Whittingham has equalised for Cardiff.
With Cardiff pegging Forest back, he might feel that they need a little bit more of a cutting edge. Possibilities as to who's coming off. You would possibly say maybe Anderson for a wide man, Tyson being a wide man, and then you might say Earnshaw. But here comes
chance
Anderson.
Here for Anderson, flicking it through for Earnshaw. Great chance! And Forest lead again! Forest are 2-1 up. Great build-up play once again. There was a foul on McGugan, but the referee allowed advantage, and Forest carved open the Cardiff defence. It was fed through for Earnshaw, who was not going to miss from there. 67 minutes played at the City Ground. It is Forest 2, Cardiff 1.
Well, maybe hold the substitutions just for 5 minutes.
They've just put the coast back on, John.
Now there's a player down injured that isn't too good for Forest. Obviously the goal that's put them in front was a superbly taken goal by Earnshaw. If you give the man chances, he does score goals.
And McKenna again wide left. Inside to McGugan, maybe now there's a little bit of movement. McGugan spreading the play, what a nice pass that is over to the far side, and good control as well by Anderson. He's got three men to his right. Anderson in field onto his left foot, shoots, oh, good save by the goalkeeper. Diving to his right to tip it behind for a corner kick. Lovely move from Forest, spreading the play was Lewis McGugan, and Anderson in field onto his right with a shot saved by Tom Heaton. Here's Bellamy down the left, it's right to the byline, cross in, now Forest are able to get it away, particularly if Anderson can get the second ball. Forest are away, here's Nathan Tyson. Tyson steaming forward, he's got McGoldrick to his left. Tyson going on his own, saved by the goalkeeper. Right foot shot, why didn't he pass it to his left when McGoldrick was waiting? McGugan was supporting as well, and Tyson on his right foot a shot. He's forced a good save from Tom Heaton, but McGoldrick is now asking the question of Nathan Tyson, saying, why on earth didn't you pass to me? There's the full-time whistle. Forest have beaten second place Cardiff in the Championship by 2-1. It is a massive victory for Forest.
Yeah, what a game. What a great advert for the Championship. You know, the end-to-end, no doubt about it. It was a big test for us today, but I thought we handled it brilliantly after the disappointment in midweek. I thought again we showed great quality, great character, and should have scored more goals. But what a thoroughly deserved 3 points.
Massive, you know, and it's bigger than you think. But you know, I thought it was a great team performance from us. But you know, we'll take it. It was all about the win, I think, today. You know, no matter what, it was trying to beat them because they're so close to us in the league.
But an eventful game against bottom club Preston, who were fighting for their lives, put another dent in Forest's automatic promotion push.
Tracy on this left-hand side wearing 11, back onto his left foot, curls one into the area, there's a header, and Preston have taken the lead after a quarter of an hour here at the City ground. Here's Konchesky on the left-hand side, Forest are 1-0 down, ball down the left wing to David McGoldrick, a little bit of trickery to try and turn away from Court, plays it back, touch for Anderson, drops for Konchesky to volley in, and Forest have an equaliser 9 minutes into the second half, and Konchesky volleys it to the back post to Ian Turner's left, and the 28,000 fans inside the City ground are rocking now. Plenty up inside the penalty area awaiting this free kick from Cohen, in it goes, Chambers gets the touch and Forest lead. Chambers goes off to celebrate at the Trent's end, but the players go straight to Cohen. They don't think he got a touch at all. Either way, Forest have scored 2 minutes into stoppage time at the City ground. Chambers with a header away. McGugan helping it third to the halfway line, now back in again towards the edge of the Forest penalty area. Away by Adebola, who's playing as a defender at the moment. Now here's Tracy trying to get room for a shot, edge of the box, faced by loads of red shirts. Goes down, surely no foul, not given. Now here's the cross to the right, and headed in. I don't believe it. Preston have got an equaliser. 5 minutes into stoppage time, it looked like Nicholson again.
The end of another busy month was concluded at the New Den, as Millwall looked to continue their push for a playoff place.
But Millwall come forward here with Dunn, finding Morrison on the far side. Room to cross from Morrison, who heads. Chambers' back header comes for Boatsa, back post, and he's lifted it over the crossbar.
Wow.
David Ford clears quickly, because that's what Millwall are trying to do. And here's Henry down the right-hand side. Henry with the cross, and it's over the head of Morrison, but comes out for Boatsa down the left-hand side. Boatsa turns away from McGugan and shoots for the near post, and at the second attempt, Lee Camp grabs it 30 yards out. Lynch has made the run, and Cohen chips it to him. He's gone behind the back, and he crosses, and it's just evaded. The lunge of the striker, David McGoldrick. Now Forest move it quickly through midfield. McGugan, clever control with his back heel, then helps it on to McGoldrick and gets it back. 25 yards out now, McGugan, still twisting and turning, one way, then the other, and into the penalty area, and shooting, and David Ford has to bat it down near his near post. Here's Tudgate finding McGugan down the left-hand side. Cross coming in from McGugan. Oh, good touch by McCleary, and the goalkeeper scrabbles it again, and it's headed eventually over his own crossbar by Pearce. Tudgate trying to get there, can't do so. Robinson heads forward, but Gunter makes it his and now finds McCleary. And McCleary's on his bike here across halfway and running now at Millwall. down the right hand side, cutting in away from one, away from two, towards the edge of the box, away from three, and shooting low down. Brilliant, and the goalkeeper makes his save.
Very proud performance is a word that I would use. Proud of the way they handled the environment, proud in the way that which they had to dig in and compete and show that discipline and that courage. Listen, they'll cause problems here, as I said before, with the crowd that they've got, and they've got a great attitude, Millwall, and you've got to give them credit, and I'm sure that they will go on from here and certainly cause a lot of problems with teams that come here in the next few weeks.
After 6 successive wins, Forest have managed just 1 win in 5 and sat 5th, 4 points off Swansea, who are now 2nd and had a game in hand. Leicester's surge up the table moved them to 7th, just outside the playoffs, but going in the other direction were Derby. Their early season promise had faded and they sat 18th and were facing a battle against the drop. The month of March began with that final game in hand and a trip to Middlesbrough.
Now here's McGugan losing it on halfway. He was under pressure from 3. And now Lita breaks forward and he's got Robson outside him, and it's played into his path and Robson pulls it back and Arca miskicks and it's knocked in at the back post by Scott McDonald into the roof of the net. That is a horrible goal for Forest to give away defensively. We're in the final couple of minutes as the ball is lofted forward again towards the edge of the Middlesbrough box. Anderson heads down, chance here for Adebola, who turns it towards goal and it's gone in! Scrappy, but who cares? Forest have got themselves an equaliser in injury time. 2 minutes into injury time, and how precious could this point prove to be?
All good things have to come to an end, and after 36 unbeaten league games at the City Ground, Hull City arrived in Nottingham.
Here, still goalless, but here's Anderson tricking his way past one and then trying to thread one through for Tudgay, and again it's impossible because there's a man in the way, and that man is James Chester, who sends it forward here to Fry it into the penalty area, rolls it towards the far corner, Hull in front. So simple in the end for Hull City.
Yeah, very disappointed, Robin, very proud of the run. They've had one shot at goal second half against what was our possession at the edge of their box. We gave it away very softly. Long way to go. We couldn't go on forever at the City Ground without defeat. It had to come to an end some point, but we certainly, I think first half we deserved to be in front. Second half we didn't deserve to win the game, but we certainly never deserved to lose again.
In came another loan signing as Scotland international Chris Boyd arrived from Middlesbrough, where he'd struggled for goals since moving to the Championship from Rangers. Boyd found himself on the bench for the trip to Bramall Lane later that day to face a Sheffield United side yet to win in 14 games under new boss Mickey Adams.
As the ball is sent forward again, long by Chambers. This time Loughton wins the header against Anderson. Ball almost comes back to Anderson, but Loughton strong in the challenge. Clipped forward again though by McKenna to Anderson, with Loughton committed. Anderson lofts it into the penalty area, near post towards Adebola, turns 6 yards out and scores as it squirms under the goalkeeper's body. It's Dele Adebola who gets a 3rd goal for Forest. And they come forward again. This is Quinn through from midfield, giving it to Bogdanovic just inside the penalty area now, left hand side. Penalty given. That's a penalty for a foul on Bogdanovic.
That's absolutely stupid.
And it is Dan Bogdanovic once again to try and keep up an impressive scoring record against Forest from the penalty spot. Lee Camp saves, diving away to his left, low down to his left. Not the best of penalties from Dan Bogdanovic. And Camp puts his hands aloft and Forest play on as they break forward now with Cohen from one end to the other. Cohen feeding it right side. This is McGoldrick cutting in towards the penalty area. Room to shoot now. Eventually he's closed down. Cohen stayed down after he dished the ball off towards his right hand side. And the Forest fans celebrate behind the goal away to our left at the far end from where Lee Camp makes a penalty save to deny Dan Bogdanovic and keep his side in front. Collins lofts this one forward. Up gets Luke Chambers with Sam Vokes. Vokes has won it and now it's sent forward towards Loughton. Gives it back to Vokes just inside the penalty area and squeezes it in from a tight angle. And it's Sam Vokes who gets an equaliser for Sheffield United. Quinn from the left hand side, left footed, out swinging, free header in the net! It's Loughton, the young fullback. Matt Loughton was left unmarked inside the Forest penalty area and Bramall Lane erupts.
Forest were in their worst run under the management of Billy Davies, when another struggling team visited the City Ground, Doncaster Rovers.
Konchesky, long one forward from him. Over the top for Tudgay. Tudgay suddenly clean through and shoots from the top of the D, and it goes a couple of yards wide. Boyd heads it into midfield for McKenna. He's got McCleary outside him to his right. Here is Gareth McCleary. McKenna lurking edge of the box. McCleary drives it in. Unbelievable clearance off the line from Hurd. He was facing the wrong way. Sent forward down the line towards McGugan. McGugan twists away from one. Low ball into the penalty area. Room here for McCleary. Takes an age to get it under control, and it's blocked in the end over behind for a corner kick.
4 consecutive weeks of 2 games a week were finally relieved by a midweek break and a Saturday trip to fellow promotion hopefuls, Swansea City.
Swansea play it neatly through midfield. Anderson gets back well. It's a good tackle on Mark Gower by Paul Anderson. And Wes Morgan has it now just inside his own half, running into trouble. So shows a bit of twinkle toes. And then eventually, as he tries to take on the fullback Taylor, he gets caught. And the tackle rather fortuitously spins off for Sinclair, who runs all the way to the edge of the penalty area, twisting one way then the other, still going into the penalty area and turns it into the net. What a goal that is from Sinclair! Here's Alan Tate. Oh, a lovely ball behind the fullback and into the penalty area. Rangel squares it back for Barini, comes back to Barini off a block, and he's put it in. And it's 2-0 to Swansea City. Forward towards Anderson, who found a bit of space, 25 yards out, threads it forward towards Tyson. Low ball in from Tyson. Boyd turning, Boyd shooting, Boyd scores. Chris Boyd gets his first goal for Forest and gives the Reds some hope a minute before half-time. Look at the space for Dobby again, running into it, attacking Forest, trying to take on Chambers. To the edge of the box he goes. Now he's on his left foot to shoot, and he's blocked by a combination of Gunter and Chambers, who both went to close him down. Again, freedom to run up Forest. Sinclair now tricking his way in from the left-hand side between two, shooting, blocked, comes out for Marini to tap in. Swansea 3-1 ahead. International break on the way. Forest fans everywhere will say thank goodness for that. Forest need 2 weeks to regroup. Here's McCleary taking on Van der Gun, getting away from him, left side, cuts into the penalty area, low ball in. Anderson has turned it in. Forest have got a goal. No celebrations. But Forest have reduced the arrears to 3-2. Well, football never ceases to amaze you, but if this ends 3-3, it will be one of the strangest things I've ever seen. Gunter, backwards for Cohen. Cohen curls it in. Header from Anderson hits the post! Diving header from Anderson off the outside of the post. Well, words almost fail me, which is not good for a radio commentator.
Well, they were a much better side. We looked what I felt we have been for a number of weeks, a side that's coming to the end of a very difficult period. I've said before that getting to this break is absolutely crucial. I've got no doubt that our run of bad games and bad period is now over. We now go into this final 8-game season, if you like, and you need to look no further than last season, Robin. At this stage, Blackpool 51 points, Nottingham Forest 67 points, and Blackpool end up in the Premier League.
A run of 1 win in 10 saw Forest go into a much needed international break 7 points behind the automatic promotion places. The Reds were now looking agonisingly over their shoulders, with Reading and Burnley just 3 points behind and each with a game in hand. At the other end, Preston were putting up a spirited fight against the drop, but Scunthorpe parted company with their manager, Ian Barraclough. Refreshed after a 2-week break, Forest's first challenge of their 8-game mini-season was a trip to Ellen Road to face Leeds.
McGugan back down the left-hand side now for Majewski. Twists in between two, he's into the penalty area. Schmeichel comes out, squares it for Tudgay, blocked on the line, falls for Boyd. Another clearance this time from Bromby. Best chance of the game, and it was fashioned by brilliance from Radi Majewski. Great tackle then by Cohen. Cohen's won a magnificent tackle and the Leeds bench are furious. Leeds players are coming across to jump in and have a go at Cohen. Simon Grayson's on the pitch, Ned Kelly's there separating him. Lee Camp's run all the way down the pitch to get involved and keep separating his players. Chris Cohen is being taken away by referee Mark Halsey. Leeds player is down. There are fracas down below us between the two dugouts, between the two technical areas. Howson is having to be pulled away by Lewis McGugan, from Lewis McGugan, by the two goalkeepers. Cohen came in and for me won that ball. Now the Leeds player has stayed down, Lynch and Johnson still having a go at each other. And Lewis McGugan and Johnny Howson are still arguing, and Chris Cohen has been shown the red card. It's a red card for Chris Cohen, who for me won the ball. Now he dived in, yes. I don't think there can be any doubt about the fact that he dived in. But he dived in to win the ball because he was going to get there first. And Chris Cohen is sent off.
Yeah, pace comes in handy when you need it. It was certainly needed there and provided well by Gunter.
Snodgrass forward for Lehigh. Lehigh's cross. Howson in the penalty area. In. Controlled it with one touch and then just slotted it wide of Lee Camp, who's furious with Radi Majewski for letting his man go. Comes in and takes this left-footed towards the back post. Again it's headed, and Becchio has headed it in. First header came from Lee Bromby. That thudded against the post and it looped up kindly for Becchio, who from close range nodded home.
Good flick by Tudgay to McCleary.
Lovely touch by Tudgay, right-hand side for McCleary. McCleary sidesteps his man, curls one. Oh, top corner! What a goal from Gareth McCleary! Left foot inside Schmeichel's far post, and Forest are back in it. Fabulous finish. Lovely flick by Tudgay to get McCleary away, and he cut back inside, and he's found the top corner inside the far post. That's a lovely finish from the substitute Gareth McCleary, and Forest are right back in the game. They cut the arrears in half thanks to a left foot curler from Gareth McCleary, which is out of the top drawer. 20 minutes in the second half.
Well, Forest needed something out the ordinary, and they certainly got it there. Flicked header by Tudgay looked just a normal, but when McCleary got the ball, Bannon, the midfield player, just let him cut inside him very, very easily, thinking there might not be too much danger, but then with his left foot, curled the ball beautifully round Schmeichel and into the top corner to put Forest, well, back in with a chance. Could be.
I do hope Forest get something out of this game. I really hope they get something out of this game. Bromby chips one up towards the edge of the penalty area from the free kick. Chambers goes up, challenges with Becchio. Morgan and Snodgrass then battling. Morgan gets it away only as far as Gradle to shoot. 3-1. Gradle from inside the D has fired one in on the turn, and that is a good finish from Max Gradle. It's his 15th goal of the season. And it goes high towards the back post, looking for Bromby. And it's actually come for him, but wide on this near side, the right. Just a little dink into the penalty area, looking for Livermore. He turns cleverly and curls a shot, spilled by Camp, then a great save by Camp on the rebound. And the third attempt, it's fired into the roof of the net by Gradle. And it is Leeds United 4, 10-man Forest 1.
Forest had now slipped out of the top six, and next up was the team that had replaced them, Reading.
Forward now towards Shane Long. Oh, free kick given against Chris Gunter. Here is Ian Hart curling one, top corner in the net. Reading in front. Shane Long bought the free kick after Chris Gunter's very, very slight tug, and that's an excellent finish from Ian Hart. Here's McGugan turning into the penalty area. The assistant referee says that's a penalty. Lengthy delay. Now Boyd moves up. Boyd sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, puts it low into the bottom corner, and Forest are level at 1-1 after a quiet opening half an hour or so. Here Earnshaw and McGugan linking up. Earnshaw into the box, shoots, far post, in off the far post. Lovely play by Forest. Corner kick to Reading, and they've employed this tactic again. It's what led to a lot of problems at the end of the first half. Load of players inside the 6-yard box. It's actually out to the edge of the box, and it's headed in, a looping header from 17 yards out by Jem Karakan. Corner, which is taken quickly by McAnuff. Camp underneath it, gets a touch on it, hasn't gone clear of the penalty area. Sent back towards Kijanaashvili, who turns and curls a shot in. Breaks for Kebe at the back post, and he fires into the roof of the net, and now Reading lead it by 3-2. Forest here trail 3-2. McCleary shoves it forward towards Gunter. Gunter pulled over, and a penalty given. Now Forest have got a penalty. In front of the Trent end, Lewis McGugan strides up, right-footed, low into the corner. Keeper goes the wrong way. A second Forest penalty of the game. For the second time in the game, it gets Forest level. And the Forest fans are desperately trying to raise their side for a final effort to try and turn defeat not only into a point but into victory. Griffin bundled over by Adebola, and it will be a free kick on the halfway line, and it's taken quickly by Griffin down the line for Karakan to cross. Danger, goal! In off Luke Chambers, would you believe it?
The meeting of the two teams, bottom of the form table, Forest and Burnley, would surely give one of them a chance to kickstart their season. After a lacklustre first half, Forest were given that opportunity with the sending off of Marvin Bartley, a chance that they took full advantage of.
Mistake by McKenna. Oh, and there's a bad challenge. That's a bad challenge by Bartley on Luke Chambers. He's led with his studs, most definitely. And there can be no doubt, there's a scuffle breaking out, but there can be no doubt, after what happened to Chris Cohen at Leeds, there can be no doubt whatsoever that Marvin Bartley has to see a red card for that challenge on Luke Chambers, who is still prone on the ground. He has to, John. If there is any sort of consistency in football, there can be no question about that being a sending off.
Well, the challenge, you can tell, is a bad one because McKenna's reaction immediately
red card
was to go and confront the player. So the players are that close to it, and McKenna was absolutely incensed. The players, as I said, obviously ended up in a melee, but there is the red card. The player goes off, and obviously we'll get no sympathy from the Forest fans.
Fancy McGugan will fancy his chances again from here.
Yeah, he's going to drive this one again with pace. Just hope somebody's brave enough to get the head in the way of it and guide it on target.
Wide on the left-hand side. McGugan strides up. He's hit it low. It's bouncing. It's turned in by David McGoldrick from inside the 6-yard box. He's only just walked onto the pitch a matter of 2 minutes ago. The substitute turns it home after 72 long minutes. There are 3 minutes to go, and Forest lead Burnley by a 1-0. Here's Lewis McGugan breaking down the right. Lovely ball squared back to Earnshaw. Square to McGoldrick, who fires a second goal in. The substitute from 13 yards. McGoldrick almost lazily, almost casually chipped the ball into the net from 13 yards out.
I thought second half, we just had to be patient. We created a host of chances. We should have scored more goals. But again, Robin, I'll say, how do you fault this team? They're giving us everything they've got. They're working very, very hard for the cause. And as you see around the country tonight, lots of changes and lots of things to happen.
But the challenges weren't getting any easier, with a Friday night trip to a Norwich City side still in contention for automatic promotion.
John Ruddy clears his lines from left to right, all in green. Up gets Chambers to win it. Then was there a push on Moussi? No, says the referee. McGoldrick nods it down from the centre circle, right-hand side for Maloney. Early forward, they're looking for Tyson's pace to get away from Whitbread, and Ruddy has to come outside. It's going to bounce in the net! Ruddy comes outside his penalty area to clear it, hits Tyson, bounces over his head and rolls in. Took an age to loop into the net, but Forest score inadvertently inside 3 minutes through Nathan Tyson. They looked for his pace, Whitbread stopped. John Ruddy had to come outside his penalty area to clear. It hit Tyson and Forest get a break because it could have gone anywhere. And where it went is over Ruddy's head and into the Norwich net. Extraordinary goal, and Forest in front inside 3 minutes at Carrow Road. Russell Martin clears away up to halfway. Good nod down by Grant Holt towards Houlihan right hand side. Keeps it going forward for Simeon Jackson. Across comes Wes Morgan. Good sliding challenge on Simeon Jackson. Norwich wanting to get on with it quickly. Houlihan takes the throw. Throws it backwards for Russell Martin. Gives it back to Houlihan now. Tries to turn away from McKenna and then gets a right old shove from Chris Boyd. And it's a free kick to Norwich wide on the right hand side and about midway inside the Forest half. 9 minutes played. And Norwich have a line of 5 players around the edge of the penalty area. 2 more just on the top of the D as well. And Fox waiting for something. The referee's telling him to get on with it. And Fox now right-footed, swings it up towards the back post, and the header is in, and you know who at the back post, rising above them all to equalise for Norwich City after 9.5 minutes is Grant Holt. The former Forest man scores a 22nd of the season, and that was fairly simple. Free kick right on the right, well delivered to the back post. Holt just got above everybody else and nodded it inside the far post. And it's all square at Carrow Road, less than 10 minutes in. Now McGugan has it, crossing halfway at a jog and looking left-hand side now. But there's too many Norwich players for that pass to get past towards Konchesky. And Houlihan it is who intercepts, and Norwich have it 10 yards inside their own half. That's soon 10 yards inside Forest half. And now it's chipped forward towards Jackson, who's onside. And Jackson just nudges it away from Camp, and Camp gets something on it and turns and recovers and pounces on the loose ball. Forest were looking for offside, nothing given. Jackson tried to lift it over the Forest keeper, who got a hand to it and didn't seem to know where it was, and turned and reacted and got there quicker than Simeon Jackson did. This is McGoldrick, edge of the centre circle, looking up. Norwich have plenty of men back and some good shape. Forest then probing. Send it right-hand side first of all. Now it's down the inside right channel for McGugan, who turns neatly away from Whitbread. Sets it up for Moussi, who hits the base of the post with a precise side foot shot and cannot believe he's seen it come back off the post. Great build-up from Forest. Super play, patient play. Moussi so unlucky. Forest are starting to really pass it neatly in the Norwich half, but here McGoldrick has been challenged and he's lost the ball to Sermon, who gets it back again now, and suddenly there's a big gap and Sermon breaks into it and Crofts is to his right, and so is Simeon Jackson, and Jackson is offside. Flag goes up. It's a very, very good finish by Simeon Jackson, but it won't matter. Whistle's gone offside.
Well, just exactly what I was talking about Konchesky's pushing forward. Both fullbacks are pushing forward. If they get beat on a turn on a 1-2, the centre halves have been isolated, and you can see that where the problems could be caused down these sides if they get the movement right.
As play goes on, Boyd looks as if he's moving okay, and here's a ball through. Onside, inside left channel for Andrew Sermon. Little ball forward by Holt. Sermon he looked a mile offside. Andrew Sermon, nothing given, inside left channel, and it's a simple finish really, with Lee Camp advancing towards him and Norwich go in front with 8 minutes to go in the first half. Big question mark over offside, but it's Norwich who go into a 2-1 lead as the ball was played forward. Was Sermon in an offside position? Well, maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was in line with Luke Chambers and Wes Morgan, but it is 2-1 to Norwich. Free kick won by Boyd here. He was manhandled pretty much by Whitbread in an aerial challenge, and the free kick is right on the edge of the centre circle and dinked forward by McGugan into the penalty area. McGoldrick turns and gets the shot away, and it's saved by Ruddy. It wasn't much of an effort from McGoldrick. He just got something on it to kind of help the ball forward. But was there a shout for a penalty? Because was Chambers fouled? He was the original target, I think.
I've got to say, that's got to be a penalty. That, for me, he's been manhandled, his shirt's been pulled, Chambers is leaning back, he's actually pulled him to the ground.
Now McGugan has it, and he rolls it across that halfway line into the centre circle for McKenna. Back to McGugan, room to turn, knocks it left-hand side. Here's Konchesky well forward again for the Reds, up to about level with the edge of the penalty area, puts in a low ball towards the near post aimed at Gunter, half cleared, comes to Tyson, blasted over the crossbar from 12 yards out at an angle. That's a chance. Here come Norwich again with Russell Martin down the right-hand side. He plays it forward to Sermon, who's clattered by Konchesky. That could be Konchesky off. He was booked in the first half. It will be Konchesky off. He's going to be suspended for next week against Leicester City. It's a second yellow card for Paul Konchesky. Red card for the man on loan from Liverpool who caught Andrew Sermon.
Yeah, it was reckless. It was a reckless challenge. Yeah, when you go to ground, you've got to time it well. And the fact that he's already on a yellow card, the referee had no hesitation and no doubt whatsoever that Konchesky had to go there. And that's made this almost impossible now for Forest to get back into this game.
The busy April continued with 2 fixtures over the Easter weekend. First up, East Midlands rivals Leicester on Good Friday.
Now McKenna gives it back to McGugan, still wide right. Forest have worked it well. McGugan's cross, angled in towards Sunday! Magnificent header, and Forest go in front after 14 minutes. Great play down the right-hand side. McGugan, as so often is the case, is the architect. Earnshaw had a hand too, and then the cross is drilled into the Leicester penalty area. Tudgay got in between the 2 defenders and headed it purposely and deliberately down low into the far corner, beating Chris Will, beating Forest 1-0.
Well, he's created a half opening for McGugan, and then the full opening, which Tudgay buried with absolute delight. A header, with 1-0 up, and there's a long way to go in the match, of course, but there's nothing like getting in front. But there's Moussi dreaming, and he's been robbed midway inside his own half.
Richie Wellens wins it and gets it back now from Yakubu and sends it wide right for Kyle Norton. Norton up to level with the edge of the penalty area, drifts away from the challenge of Tudgay, crosses deep to the back post. It's sent back across the face of goal, cleared away by Chambers, comes out for Oakley to drive, equaliser. Hadn't got a hand to it, couldn't keep it out. And Matt Oakley gets Leicester back on terms. Forest not in front for long, only for 5 minutes or so, but Leicester came back strongly at the Reds, and as has been the case so often of late, they're unable to keep hold of a lead. We saw the lead keep changing hands against Reading recently, and now having got 1-0 in front, Forest are only able to stay in front for 5 short minutes. It's Matt Oakley who drills it in from the edge of the D. The goalkeeper Lee Camp got his hand to it, diving away to his right, but that only took it into the roof of the net, and it's Forest 1, Leicester 1.
But there's Moussi,
controlling a ball on his chest, then a good tackle from McKenna as it's cleared away from Moussi. Here's McGugan wriggling away from challenges, shooting, blocked, rebound, and score! 2-1 Forest! Reds back in front, as is so often the case. It's Lewis McGugan who produces the spark, wriggling away from challenges, hitting the shot from a long way out, which Chris Wheel couldn't hold, and it's Rob Earnshaw who fires the rebound low into the corner for an 8th goal of the season, and suddenly there's joy again around the City ground, because a dull, frankly poor second half has sprung into life, and the Reds lead Leicester City by 2-1.
Well, once again, Forest have relied on McGugan, and he's turned up trumps. Turns inside a defender, shrugs him off with a little bit of strength, gets it on his right foot, lines it up. Goalkeeper certainly couldn't keep hold of it, and it goes out to Earnshaw from 7 yards. That's his distance. 7 yards will do me fine. Left foot, corner of the net, Forest 2-1 up.
Now, what Forest have not done over recent weeks is kept a lead. Can they do it this time? Straight away, they're on the back foot because Chambers is penalised for a foul, and it's a free kick to Leicester.
It's a poor lunge by Chambers as well to give away the free kick. They've taken it quickly.
It's down the right-hand side. Here's Norton driving over a ball, and it's dropped by Camp, and it's tapped in at the near post by Darius Vassell.
Yeah, they're caught sleeping again.
And
quick free kick.
Straight away, as has happened so often to Forest in recent weeks, no sooner do they go in front than the opposition come back. It's Vassell from close range after Forest are sleeping from the free kick. It's driven low in, Camp can't hold it near post, and it falls for Vassell to tap in from 2 yards out, and it's 2-2, and twice Forest have been in front, and twice Forest have failed to hold the lead. 2 each at the City ground.
Well, it's incredible. Not even a full minute, I don't think, since the opposition kicked off.
Camp clears from left to right in his yellow jersey. Up gets Boyd, but not high enough. Vitor heads away. McGugan brings it down and finds Cohen. Gunter goes steaming forward outside Cohen. Cohen ignores him, looks for the cross aimed at Boyd. Boyd gets up, wins the header, comes down for McKenna to volley in the net! Spilled by the goalkeeper! It goes right under Chris Wheel! And now Forest are in front for a 3rd time! It's the captain, Paul McKenna! He doesn't get many! It's only the 2nd of the season! But he's volleyed it home, there wasn't much on it! And somehow it's bobbled underneath the body of Chris Wheel! And with 6 minutes to go, Forest take the lead for a 3rd time! Paul McKenna with the volley! It's Forest 3, Leicester 2! And now look at Luke Chambers going forward and imploring everybody to concentrate defensively. They cannot let it go a 3rd time. Listen to the noise now around the City ground. Suddenly, everybody around the place believes that it's on. Forest in front for a 3rd time in the game.
Forest were back in the top 6, and their fate was in their own hands again as they travel to Bristol City.
So that's what, 12, 22, 32 yards out then. Lewis McGugan, almost dead centre. Comes up, smashes it low. David James has spilt it, might fall for Chris. Boyd does! Boyd smashes it in from 6 yards on the rebound. It's a 3rd Forest goal for Chris Boyd. Inside 4 minutes they go in front. Carey gives the ball away here to McGugan, who's trying to go outside Carey, who brings him down, and that's a penalty. It's Boyd, the Scotsman, against the former England goalkeeper David James, who stands on his line. Boyd comes up right-footed and blasts it home. Excellent penalty from Chris Boyd. Campbell Rice tries to go outside Maloney and crosses, back post, and the header is in the net. And Bristol City are back in it, right at the start of the second half. But it's the Robins who come forward again with a Doma down the right-hand side and cuts in away from Moussi, and now gives it to Clarkson, edge of the box, still wide right. The cross comes in, back post. Johnstead heads, 2-2. Forest ripped apart. Cross goes McGugan to take the corner. In it comes towards the 6-yard box. Chambers with a header, in! Luke Chambers scores it, looped up. There was a man on the back post who looked like he might be able to head it clear. He didn't. David Clarkson saw it go over his head. It's right in the top corner. And Luke Chambers celebrates.
We can't afford to throw games like that away in the manner in which we did. You know, we've got to learn to keep clean sheets. We've got to learn to stop crosses. We've got to learn to track runners and win headers. And I can tell you I've had a right go in there because I'm extremely disappointed.
The final home game of the regular season against Scunthorpe saw Forest put in a 5-star display.
Forward here for Boyd, flag stays down, Boyd is through, Boyd scores! Mistake, a Scunthorpe look at each other, but it's taken Forest 8 minutes. Cohen then to take, 24 minutes gone. Cohen high to the back post, nodding, headed off the line, spectacularly. The linesman's got his flag up and says that Luke Chambers, Forest player of the season, headed the ball across the line before the efforts of the defender on the line to head it out. 10 yards from the corner flag. And from the byline, Nunez gets hold of it, rolls it back in field. Here's Duffy once more. Duffy with a back heel. Nunez got goal side, have gone to penalty. Michael O'Connor, Trent End, away to our left. Forest 2-0 ahead. But Scunthorpe with a chance to get one back. Oh, what a penalty, top corner. Absolutely blasted it into the top corner, Michael O'Connor. And McGugan then with the right foot. They're stooping in at the near post. Anderson scores at the second attempt. 2 minutes after coming on as a half-time substitute. He's not played for about a month. And Paul Anderson comes back from injury to fire Forest 3-1 ahead, 2 minutes in. Free kick here then to Forest, wide left, couple of yards from the byline. Cohen chips it up to the back post. Chambers is arriving and bundles it in. And Luke Chambers is on a hat-trick. Chambers in front of the Trent End. Celebrates. Yet more good news for Luke Chambers this season. The player of the year now has 2 on the day Forest simply had to win. Is there a grandstand finish here from Forest? Can they get a 5th? It's Anderson. Oh, foul. Referee waves play on though because the ball breaks for Moussi, and then Nelson fouls him as well. And that'll be a free kick to the Reds inside the D again. Lewis McGugan must be sitting in the dugout.
He wants to come back on.
Let me back on, boss. He's saying the rules. Now Chris Boyd has got the ball under his arm. Boyd's nicked it away from Earnshaw this time.
Yeah, there's nobody going to take it off Boyd. And certainly not Earnshaw.
I'm having this one. Leave me alone.
I remember he did that with the penalty down at Bristol. Chris Boyd grabbed the ball, I'm taking it. Mind, he scored.
The fans want Luke Chambers to take it. They're chanting Chambers' name. Billy Davis has a smile as Chambers comes back because he's on a hat-trick. Earnshaw takes, Earnshaw scores, but the referee wasn't ready, and Earnshaw is going to be sent off. Earnshaw gets the second bookable offence for taking the free kick before the referee was ready. He'd already been booked in the first half for a foul on David Murphy, and Earnshaw is booked for a second yellow card.
Yeah, everybody knows that once the referee's gone, and he's actually stood in the middle of the wall to make sure it's 10 yards. I mean, it's not like he stood at the side and he's been asked, can we take this one? The referee's actually stood in amongst the players in the Scunthorpe wall.
He will be suspended for next week at Palace. Here's the free kick, blasted by Boyd, deflects off the wall, and Forest have a 5th goal. And suddenly Earnshaw's sending off is forgotten.
The Reds had all but secured their place in the playoffs with 1 game to go. Only a 6-goal swing in Leeds' favour would see the Reds finish outside the top 6. All other matters in the league had been finalised. Norwich joined QPR in claiming the automatic promotion spots. And at the bottom, Preston, Scunthorpe and Sheffield United were relegated to League One. So Forest needed to avoid defeat in their final game at Crystal Palace to seal a playoff spot, and they did so in some style.
Owen drills a ball towards the left-hand side for Anderson, who chests it down and just about keeps it in play. It was really drilled at him, and now here's Gunter. Drifting over across, aimed at Tudgay, who gets up well, comes down for McGugan to volley, that one is in! McGugan's volley, right-footed from the corner of the penalty area. Speroni may have got a touch, but couldn't keep it out as it goes in off the far post. And Forest are in front after 16 minutes at Selhurst Park. Forest playoff bound for sure now, aren't they? In sixth and 1-0 up. Always caught late by
That's a bad challenge. It's a bad challenge.
Moxie has hurt Marcus Tudgay here. The fans don't like it. It's a red one. It was a high challenge on Marcus Tudgay. And with the benefit of a replay here, I have to say, that was a bad challenge by Moxie. Here is Chris Cohen. Stretching the play again, sending it wide right for Maloney, room to cross. Maloney does cross, and it's headed in! And it's Marcus Tudgay who scores at the near post, and Forest have a 2-goal lead, and their place in the playoffs is now safe. They lead 2-0 in the sunshine at Selhurst Park, and the season will go beyond the final day for the second successive year. It's a cross from Brendan Maloney, who's had so much space throughout this second half. Forest making the extra man pay. Crystal Palace 0, Forest 2. Leeds leading 2-1 at QPR, but it won't matter because Forest are winning here. Leeds won't make the playoffs. I feel sorry for that Simon Grayson, me. Here's McGoldrick turning and hitting one. What a shot that is! What a goal from David McGoldrick. 25 yards out. He has absolutely blasted it into the top corner. A fantastic effort from David McGoldrick, just on as a substitute. A 6th goal of the season. Forest leading at Crystal Palace by 3-0. Their scoring spree goes on. They are hitting the playoffs in form. It'll be 5 wins out of 6. It's another goal glut, and McGoldrick has blasted a beauty. Crystal Palace 0, Forest 3. Playoffs, here we come.
So the final table saw Forest finish in 6th with a playoff tie against Swansea City to look forward to. The other playoff semi-final will be contested by Cardiff and Reading. QPR were crowned as champions as they avoided any points penalties for allegations regarding the signing of Alejandro Forlin. So for the second successive year it was the playoffs and a 2-legged tie against Swansea as Forest looked to put their playoff hoodoo firmly behind them.
Oh, that's a bad tackle. That's a shocking tackle in the early stages by Neil Taylor. Studs up over the top on Lewis McGugan. What will Mike Dean do? His assistant referee was stood fairly close to the incident. Taylor slid in. Red card. Off you go. First minute of the playoff semi-final. Neil Taylor sent off and the City ground erupts. Good play by the Reds. Now can they do something with it as they get closer towards the penalty area? No, because McKenna's pass goes astray and it's sent forward early up towards Fabio Barini. And Barini trying to take on Chambers down the left-hand side. Almost gets past Chambers, and in the end Lee Camp has to make a save. Good work by the young Italian. So Barini to take. Referee blows his whistle. Barini bounces up on his toes, trots forward, dinks one, and Lee Camp has to make a flying save. Tips over the crossbar.
Barini could have had a hat-trick so far.
Cohen though forward here towards Boyd, inside right channel. Boyd crosses, pulls it back for Earnshaw. Great save by De Vries. Brilliant link-up play between the two strikers. Square to McKenna. Gives it back to McGugan. He's halfway inside the Swansea half and he's got a bit of space and he runs on and he hits it. De Vries parries it away. Good save. McGugan almost fashioning something out of nothing again. Now Anderson gives it back to McGugan 30 yards out. Little ball through for Cohen in space. Lays it off for Earnshaw who skies it over the bar from the edge of the box. Possibly the best chance of the game, and Earnshaw got right underneath it. Into the centre of the Swansea half for McGugan, who turns away from a challenge. Stabs it forward down the left-hand side for Gunter. Gunter with the pullback. Low ball in, and it's hit towards goal by Cohen. It's deflected. Was it off a hand? No, says the referee, but it's behind for a corner kick. Forest are convinced that was handball as Cohen sent it towards goal. Nothing given, and it's won them a corner. Taken by McGugan. Flicked on! Header on the back post from Earnshaw. Flag is up. It won't count. Boyd with the near post celebrations all around the City ground.
Good flick by Boyd, but Earnshaw just offside as he finished off the move to actually...
Oh, here's Dyer going through and shooting, and a good save by Lee Camp, diving away low to his left. McGugan back to Maloney down the right flank, wide on the right, 20 yards out. Little ball in field to Anderson into the penalty area. Square now for Tyson. Good first touch, good second touch. Turns the shot towards goal with his third, and it's beaten away by the legs. Full time in the first leg, half time in the tie, and it's 0-0. It's Dobie to take down this near side, their left. And he's taken it flat towards the penalty spot, and Sinclair can't control it, and Maloney gets there first. And now Tyson's herring after this, and he's away from Leon Britton. Tyson gets to the ball first, back gets Wrangle. Tyson's at the edge of the penalty area and squares it. Here's McGoldrick, back post, he's hit the crossbar! From 12 yards out, David McGoldrick hits it off the top of the crossbar, and it goes away to safety. Britton left-hand side, here's Tate again. Tate giving it to Britton again, halfway inside the Forest half and jogging forward. The wall of red stops him, but Britton now looks up for Barini. Barini turns away from Morgan, shoots, deflected, hit the crossbar. That's a crossbar hit at both ends. I thought it was going to loop in off the deflection off Wes Morgan, who just about recovered. Dobby takes the corner and gives it to Sinclair, and he gives it back to the Scotsman, and now infield towards Leon Britton, 25 yards out after the short corner. Britton now edge of the penalty area, twists away from Tudgay, left foot short, he's in! Swansea in front. Lee Camp wrong-footed, didn't move a muscle.
Well, the home side have got the first goal, therefore they've got the impetus. But Forest have just got to keep playing the same as they were playing, without the mistakes. Far too many mistakes so far in the first half. One of them, a little bit of...
Oh, here's Dobie linking up with Dyer and running towards the top of the D and away from Chambers. 2-0. Shoots low into the bottom corner. So easy, so simple. And the second goal has come for Swansea very quickly after the first. And Tyson has squared it back to the penalty spot, and Marcus Tudgay blazes over the crossbar. Clear chance to get Forest back in the game. Lewis McGugan, is he the man for the moment? 13 minutes into the second half, McGugan and Cohen stand over it. McGugan drives it, oh, he's hit the crossbar. A fabulous effort from Lewis McGugan. And it absolutely thudded against the Swansea crossbar. Cohen trying to get away from Joe Allen, gets help from Majewski outside him. Here is Majewski, crossing, aimed at Boyd. De Vries punches it away, got one hand on it, comes out for Gunter, who slips as he's about to send it back in right-footed. Whether it be shot or cross, who knows, but he slipped and completely miskicked, and they cleared a halfway. But that's a great ball, inside right channel, and Rob Earnshaw has Forest back in it. And it's the Forest fans' turn to cheer. Magnificent ball from Majewski inside right channel, and Earnshaw, who's only been on the field 2 minutes, lashes it home in South Wales. The former Cardiff man against Swansea gives Forest fans hope. 10 minutes to go. Swansea 2, Forest 1. The goal they've threatened throughout the second half comes, and Forest are back in it. Morgan forward into the Swansea half. He takes the ball. He's got Cohen and Majewski close to him. Gives it to Cohen. Cohen wide right now for Maloney. Cutting in, rampaging run into the penalty area from the Irishman. And in the end just lost control of it, and he was tackled by Leon Britton. But whenever Forest attack the penalty area now, Swansea are worried. Here's Majewski, good ball to Earnshaw. Lovely flick to Boyd. Boyd for Gunter. Gunter crosses, no takers. Was he crossing? Was he shooting on his left foot? 90-minute mark, 4 minutes to go. One or two sharp intakes of breath from the Swansea fans, who realise they're 4 minutes from Wembley, but Forest still have 4 minutes to try and prize them open. McGugan laying it off for Earnshaw. Earnshaw has hit the post! Lovely layoff from McGugan, and Earnshaw drags it across the face of goal and hits the base of the far post. Forest within an ace, yet again. 3 times they've hit the Swansea woodwork. Gunter chips it forward. Can Forest find the equaliser? So close a moment ago. Cohen wide right, trying to keep the ball in play, has done so, whips over the cross, De Vries drops it, Maloney back across the face, and Earnshaw hammers it towards goal on the volley, blocked by Williams, appeals for handball. Nothing doing from Andre Mariner. Forest so close. Swansea so close to Wembley. Forest so close to an equaliser. Cohen's corner. De Vries punches. McGugan slips as he volleys. Camp is out of his goal. Pratley drives forward. Pratley to halfway, shoots for goal and finds the empty net. And Swansea are going to Wembley. And the Forest gamble has backfired. They send Lee Camp up the field to try to head in an equaliser, and Swansea break, and from halfway Pratley looks up and sends the ball into Forest net. So close to getting back into the tie. Never seen anything like it. What you'd call in ice hockey an empty net goal. As Pratley breaks away, he's lost his shirt, who knows where it is. And Swansea are 3-1 ahead, and it is just about all over as far as Forest are concerned. Another season of Championship football beckons Forest, who, to be honest, you cannot fault for their second half performance here. And if you're listening at home, you ought to be proud of the side for the way they've gone about this second half. They deserve to have got something out of it. Twice they've hit the post in the second period through McGugan and Earnshaw. 2-0 down, back to 2-1, hit the post twice, but it doesn't matter. They've lost the game by 3-1, and it's Swansea who go to Wembley, and it is the end of Forest's season.
So there was yet another playoff defeat for the Reds, but reason for supporters and Billy Davies to be justifiably proud of the players' efforts.